Welcome to this painting tutorial. How's it going, everyone? Welcome to this video. Because everyone's doing Nurgle and everyone has the new miniatures and I don't, I decided to make an old school video of a Nurgle warband called the Cleaved. The color's supposed to be a pinkish gray with ooze coming out from in between the armor. And I had a couple issues with this color scheme, but I'll explain to you what I would have done different. But overall, I think it looks pretty good. I think it's a very good color scheme, and I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. If you like it, don't forget to like the video, comment on it, and subscribe to the channel to see more videos in the future. I'm going to start by priming the model in gray. For that, I'm going to use Vallejo Surface Primer Gray through an airbrush. I would suggest you to get white if you can, because the first color is going to be very light and we need a very light base color to start painting. And for that, I'm going to mix 3 parts Emperor Children, 1 part Castellan Green, and 8 parts Palid Witch Flesh. This should do the normal color that you need for this color scheme, and Castellan Green is a little bit strong. So if you wanted a little bit more gray, use a little bit more Castellan Green. But I did experiment with the color and did a couple trials, and this is the color that I liked at the end to use in my model. I did apply the color a little bit thick here, and that's my bad. I should have been a little bit more diligent and thin it out a little bit more and let it dry well. So be careful with that. Just let it dry in between coats and thin your colors well. Next, I'm using Carrobrug Crimson, and with this color I'm going to shade all of the recesses of this model. This is going to make it look even more pink. So if you don't want it that pink, you can use Agrax Eartshade. I think that's a very good alternative, and I think I would have used that because that'll look a little bit more Nurglish instead of looking a little bit Slanesh-y because of this color in the recesses. But I think it still looks good. I think it still looks very nice, and I think it enhances this pink color if you want it to be go a little bit more pink like I did. I'm being extra careful with it because I don't want to clean up and remix the color. But if you're trying to make an army of these, it's a good idea to have a tub of paint and mix it up and be able to seal it and use it over and over again. To be consistent with your models. Here I'm doing an edge highlight with Palid Witch Flesh. This is an easy step. It's just trying to pick up all of the edges of the armor and very quickly giving it a highlight. This is gonna tone down the pink in the edges and make it look a little bit brighter. This is going to be a little time consuming because there's a lot of edges and there's not a lot of trimming that we're going to do to this model. We're just going to try to pick all of the edges, excluding the places that are going to be silver or any other color. This is how the armor should look once it's done, and I'm going to start using black to paint a little bit of ooze coming from within the armor, and I'm going to try to find these little crevices in the armor that are on the top of some parts of the armor and make them ooze a little bit of this black. For this, you need to have an ink consistency on your color and try to go over all of these places that you want to be oozing like oil and stuff, and try to not go overboard because it's easy to do a lot, and you can try to erase them if you want with the previous color if you think you did too much. I ended up doing a little bit too much, but I think it looked fine at the end. Here I'm using Caliban Green, and I'm doing this on most of the places that are painted black, leaving a little bit of black on the darkest parts, and I'm going to follow it up with Mephiston Red. With this color I'm going to pick up some other areas and do different colored oils and ooze and kind of weird crap coming up from the armor. And this is pretty much the look. This is the armor done. You can use any other colors that you feel like if you want, but this is how the old school models look like. Once that's done, I'm going to use black again, Vallejo model color black, and I'm going to block all of the places that are going to be silver and black. I'm painting the silver as well because it's easier for silver to cover over black, and I'm going to paint all these areas very carefully. Careful not to get into the pink areas or any other areas that we already painted. Next, I'm going to use Leadbelcher and thin it down a little bit with water or whatever you like to use to thin your paints, and I'm going to start painting this over all of the places that I want to be silver. This is a very minimal ornamentation around the armor, like skulls and spikes and stuff like that, and also the bolter. Next, I'm going to use Sandrich Dust, and with this color I'm going to paint the horns of this Space Marine. I'm just going to very quickly just give them a base coat, very carefully not to get into the pink, and making sure that the color is well thinned down. Once that's done, I'm going to start shading these areas. I'm going to start with Nuln oil to shade all of the silver. And this is very quickly, just making sure that you shake well your wash, because if you don't, washes tend to separate, and sometimes you apply medium or only matte medium that is in the wash. Sometimes it ends up frosting or ends up gloss because it's not well mixed. Next, I'm going to use Agrax Eartshade, and this color I'm going to use it on the horns, making sure that it's evenly spread in between the ridges of the horn, and being very careful not to get into the pink. Once that's done, I'm going to start highlighting. I'm going to use Eshin Gray to edge highlight the black, and in this case it's just the bolter case of the bolter, and that's it. If you want to paint any other details in black, you're more than welcome to use this. This is going to look good. Next, with Dawnstone, I'm going to do an extreme highlight on the black, only concentrated on the sharpest edges of the black, and giving them this very bright highlight that sometimes ends up looking like non-metallic metal, I've been told, but it's not. It's just an extreme highlight, a very bright highlight. Next, with Stormhost Silver, I'm going to use this to edge highlight all of the places that are going to be silver, and this is going to make them look very, very bright, so try to use it on the edges. And some places are too small, so you can end up covering the whole thing if you want, but pretty much just you're trying to aim for the edges and places that are very pointy. Once that's done, I'm going to work on the horns, and I'm going to be very careful to make sure that it's very dry, and I'm going to do a dry brush. This is a very light dry brush. Make sure to have very little paint on the brush, and start dry brushing it towards the top, trying to get all of those ridges and leave a little bit of the washed color in the recesses. Next, with Screaming Skull, I'm going to do the same thing, but focusing more to the top of the horns, and making sure that the brush is very dry, and just going about it and giving it an extra highlight that is going to make them look a lot brighter towards the top. Once that's done, I'm gonna just paint the eyes, and I'm going to do the standard Mephiston red color. I'm going to give it red colored eyes, but you can use any color that you like. Some pictures show them as pink, but I think it was too much to do pink eyes with a pink armor, so I just went with red. I covered the whole thing, then I used the Wild Rider red to paint the half front part of the lens, followed by Fire Dragon Bright, and this is just a very small spot on the very front of the lens to give it a fiery effect. And to finish it up, I'm going to use white, model color white, and just paint a little dot of white on the back part of the lens to give an effect of like a reflection of light on the glossy lens. And this is the finished model. I think it looks good. The only self-criticism is I think I went a little bit too pink. Most of the photos of this color scheme look a little bit more gray, and that's because I was a little bit shy with the Castellan green. And even though I was using 3 parts Emperor's Children, 1 part Castellan green, I think I was a little bit shy with it. I did a little bit less than that, but 3-to-1 should look pretty good as a gray color. And also used Agrax Eartshade on the recesses, so it doesn't look that pink. I think that'll end up being closer to the photos on the internet. So that's it. I hope you found this video entertaining and helpful, and if anything, you learned something from it as I did. And if you liked the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Please click on the notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload a video, if you're interested in that. And I'll be coming up with more content soon. Thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you on the next video. You stayed. Great. Thank you very much for supporting my channel, and if you would like to become a patron, there is a link to my Patreon page in the description below. Your contributions help pay for my work and keeps the channel going. A single $1 a month is more than enough, and you can cancel at any time. If you can't, don't worry, you can support my channel by simply watching my videos and sharing them with your friends. Thank you for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.